What's up, you guys? Welcome to week 2 of fantasy football with the Tuesday morning tiers. I'm your host again, Leo, and let's get started. Okay, so starting off on week 2, I will be talking about the standings. So with week 2, we have 3 2-0 teams, we have 6 1-1 teams, and we have 3 0-2 teams. So it's looking like a pretty good start, at least for me, that is. I am 2-0, which I'm pretty happy about that. Other people that are 2-0 is Alberto Gutierrez and Beats by Ray, which is Samuel Garcia. So for us three, it's looking pretty good. And let's see what happens for this third week. So for today's breakdown, we're going to go over week 2 of fantasy football. And I'm not going to start with me this time, I'm going to start with somebody else. So the first one I'm going to talk about, Beats by Ray versus Pleasure Treasure. So with Beats by Ray, we had a victory by 86-66. So Samuel Garcia, you did win, and I want to say it was had to do with Tom Brady. Tom Brady with 456 yards with 3 touchdowns. That got you 28 points, so that definitely put you ahead. Compared to the other side, Aaron Rodgers, 249 yards with 2 touchdowns. Not bad, but it just did not cut it. Good players on that. Other good players you had on there, Adrian Peterson, he had 0 touchdowns, but still managed to get you 134 yards. Don't know how he did it, but that's 16 points. Really, really good. On the other side, Pleasure Treasure, you did have Gronkowski. Gronkowski did get you 17 points, but unfortunately he only got you 1 touchdown, about 113 yards, which isn't bad. Ending of that game, like I said, it was 86-66. The win goes to Beats by Ray. Okay, so for week 2, I had Team Trickle Down Begging, which is Peter, and I had Team Blackout, which is Michael. So between the two, Team Trickle Down Begging did win, 84, Team Blackout with 71. Top players on Trickle Down Begging would be Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning threw for 256 yards and 3 touchdowns. He did have an interception though, which didn't really affect him. He still had 20 points. On the opposite side, Michael, Team Blackout, he had Tony Romo, no touchdowns. He did throw for 195 yards, but unfortunately, if you guys haven't heard, Romo is hurt. I'm sure you guys have heard because that's all you guys have been talking about. Downside for Peter, he had LeGarrette Blount, which only got him 4 yards, so he got you 0 points. On the other side, you had Rashad Jennings for the New York Giants and 12 yards. Didn't cut it. But overall, the victory did go to Trickle Down Banging. Peter, good win, 84. Team Blackout, 71. Okay, so for the third game we had Fear My Johnson and then In Your Brown Eye. So Mike Allen is Fear My Johnson and Alberto Gutierrez is In Your Brown Eye. So between the two, it was a high-scoring game for In Your Brown Eye. He had 114 points. Fear My Johnson, 72 points. So the winner does go to Alberto Gutierrez. And big players on In Your Brown Eye, we had Ben Roethlisberger with 30 points. 30 points, 369 yards with 3 touchdowns. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. Other top players he had Antonio Brown, 9 receptions, 195 yards with a touchdown, and Odell Beckham with 7 receptions, 146 yards, and a touchdown. So between those 3 players alone, Big Ben had 30 points, Antonio Brown had 27 points, and Odell Beckham Jr. had 20 points. So that's a lot of points with just those 3 players. On the other side, Mike Allen with Fear My Johnson. Drew Brees threw for 255 yards, 1 touchdown, and also he threw for an interception. Players with low scoring points in that game, we had In Your Brown Eye, he had Troy Mason, 26 yards, not a lot, but that really didn't affect him. Other side we had Chris Anderson, C. Anderson for Denver. I want to say it's Chris Anderson, I'm guessing it is, I hope it is, but he only had 27 yards. So Mike Allen, sorry, not a good day for you, not a good week for you. Hoping you can change it next week though. And In Your Brown Eye, good work, good game. The next game we had this week, we had Team Sanchez, which is Ivan Sanchez, and then we had Come On Gamble Man, which is Nick Gamble. Between the two, it was a high-scoring game between both of them. Team Sanchez did pull out the victory with 110 points. Nick Gamble only ended up with 100 points. So quarterback for Team Sanchez was Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson threw for 206 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. So he got you 21 points. And Come On Gamble Man, he had Carson Palmer, 185 yards, 4 touchdown passes, and he also threw an interception. So you guys both ended up with the same amount of points on your quarterback, 21 points, which isn't bad. This game, I could honestly say, was back and forth. The biggest player other than Russell Wilson was Edelman. Edelman for New England. He had 11 receptions for 97 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he got Team Sanchez 22 points. And on the other side, the highest one was Denver's defense. Denver's defense ended up having 20 points for Nick Gamble. Yet they had a touchdown return, 2 interceptions, 3 fumble recoveries, and 24 points allowed. So they did allow 24 points, but that still didn't stop them. They still had 20 points, which is really good for their defense. Other than that though, concluding that game, Team Sanchez again did win 110. Nick Gamble did lose he had a score of 100. The next game we had You Can't Randall This and About to Force Set In. So one is Danny, one is Jesse Sanchez. So between the two, the quarterbacks, Eli Manning threw for 292 yards and 2 touchdowns for Daniel Rodarte. And for Jesse Sanchez, Phillip Rivers threw for 241 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he also threw an interception. So between the two quarterbacks, Eli Manning did have a better game with 19 points compared to Phillip Rivers with only 13 points. Low scoring players for You Can't Randall This was Mike Evans. Mike Evans had 0 receptions for 0 yards. I don't think he played, at least it doesn't seem like he played. For the other side, it was Abdullah. It was the running back for Detroit. I can't really say his first name, but it's Abdullah. He only had 9 yards, so it didn't get you any points, Jesse. Sorry about that. The final score for that game was 91, Can't Randall This, 73, About to Force Set In. So Danny did get the win for that week. So the week 2, Danny does have a win, and good on you, Danny. Lastly, I want to go over week 2 with my team. So my team, Stud Finders, I went against Team Shelby, which is Tyrese Shelby. This was probably one of the most interesting games that I've seen. Everybody's watching it because it went down all the way to the wire. My quarterback, Matt Ryan, threw for 363 yards with 1 touchdown. On the other side, we had Andrew Luck with 250 yards, a touchdown, but he also threw 3 interceptions. So he did not really help out Tyrese. I am sorry, Tyrese, I was watching the game. Andrew Luck did not have a good day, that's for sure. So the low performing players on my team, I would say it was Eddie Lacy. Eddie Lacy only got me 9 yards, but he did get hurt, which is very unfortunate because he is my first round pick and I really need him to play. On the other side of that, Jay Hill for Cincinnati, 39 yards, 2 fumbles, ended up with -1 points. So that's not good. Fumbling definitely takes a toll. Just ask Frank Gore that. And yeah, the score of this game was ridiculous. It was 62-61. I did come up with the win at the very end. Andrew Luck did not have a good day. Because of that, I did end up pulling off the victory. I do have to say though, Adam Vinatieri, you suck. So Adam Vinatieri did get me 0 points, and he originally had -1 point for me, but he ended up making an extra point after that touchdown that Andrew Luck had, and he ended up bringing me back to 0. So if you would have kept me at -1, we would have been tied, and yeah, ties are never fun. So that does wrap up week 2 of Tuesday Morning Tiers. It was a good week for me, that's for sure. Also for Sam Garcia and also Alberto Gutierrez. So we are still 2-0. We're still both undefeated, which is pretty awesome. For you other guys, you know, luck's definitely gotta be on your side because when it comes to fantasy, it's a gamble, that's for sure. And not you, Nick Gamble. Other than that though, guys, good luck on week 3. And keep an eye out for all those injuries. There's a lot of injuries out there. Tony Romo, Eddie Lacy, that's for me. A couple other people that are questionable. Keep an eye out for those guys. This is going to be a weekly thing. So if you guys do have trash talking, which I know you guys do, definitely send them to me because I will be playing them. And I know you guys all want to hear each other's trash talk. Alright guys, good luck this week and see you guys next week.